Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the Demolition League. We are at game number 47. We're in Miami. It is the Twins against the Marlins, and you can see the score sheet is completely empty because we're going to be doing the rest rolls and see who needs to be rested. And that's going to determine how we do our lineup. Hello, good evening to you. All right, so first we're going to do the visiting team, the Minnesota Twins. We're going to roll 1d6 and see which three positions have to be checked for injury. Or not injury, but for fatigue. That's a 5, so we're checking second base, right field, and DH from the Twins. So we go to their last game, and we're looking at second base, right field, and DH. Second base was Castro. Right field was Margot. And the DH was Miranda. I got a feeling all three of those guys, maybe Castro can avoid it, but I think the other one's going to be under the limit because you have to have at least 375 plate appearances to not have to be rested. So we'll go to the first guy on the list, and that is going to be Jose Miranda. Well, he did have 401 at-bats and 18 walks. That's 419, but he still has to – a 1 to 18 means he's got to rest. And so he will have to rest. So Miranda will be resting. Next on the list is going to be the right fielder, Manuel Margot. So we'll check Margot. 336 plate appearances, so he has to rest automatically. Last person is Willie Castro. He was playing second base. He's got 558 plus 51, so he's over 600, so Castro does not have to rest. But we will put in here for Minnesota that Manuel Margot and Miranda both have to rest. So that's the Minnesota rest. Miranda and Margot, M&M boys, have to rest. They can come in after the 7th inning, but they can't start the game, obviously. Castro can, so we'll figure out what's going on with them after we take care of the Marlins. Hello, ID. ID needs the rest. Okay, well, there you go. Hello, Ernest. Good to see you. All right, so now we're doing the Marlins. Same deal. Roll 1d6. It's a 6, so we're checking center field, catcher, and third base. Let's look at their last game. Center, catcher, and third base. Catcher was Betancourt. Third base was Berger. And center field was Jazz Chisholm. So let's see if any of those or all of these might have to rest. First, we will look at Jake Berger. Berger, 535 and a 31. That's 586. So the only way he has to rest is if this is a 1. He's 3, so he's good to go. All right, he passes that check. Let's go to Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm, 386 and 39. So it looks like Chisholm may have to rest. I know he had a separate card for the Yankees as well, but we're only doing the Miami stuff right now. So we are looking at 425. So 1 to 15, he's got to rest. And he does. So Jazz Chisholm will have to rest. And the last man to be checked is the catcher Betancourt. I'm pretty sure he has to rest. Yes, so he definitely has to rest. So Betancourt and Chisholm both have to rest. So we go over to our Miami rest category. And we are looking at Betancourt and Jazz Chisholm. Betancourt, not that big of a deal for rest, but Chisholm certainly is normally in their starting lineup, so they'll have to make an adjustment there. All right. Now we're ready to make our lineups. All righty. We will be making our lineups. First, we're going to start with the Twins. Let's move this dice tray out of the way so I can give some room to write. Make it a little bit cat-a-corner so I can write preferably the correct way. The starting pitchers for the game are 2 right-handers, Max Meyer for Miami and Pablo Lopez for Minnesota. So we're making lineups versus right-handed pitching. So Minnesota, Margot and Miranda off to the side. and we look at who they've got on the roster, and we'll go from here. So leading off, as usual, since he did not have to rest, is Byron Buxton. So we're going to have Byron Buxton lead off in center field. And he was, or is, a 2 minus 2E1. And he runs at a 17. Oh, it's kind of too much cat corner. Can't hardly use your neck trying to read this stuff. All right, batting second. And hitting as the first baseman is going to be Carlos Santana. So Santana at first base, and he's a 1E5, and he's an 11. Carlos Correa, the shortstop, will bat in the third position. He is a 1E10 with a 12. And Ryan Jeffers, the catcher, will bat cleanup. He had off yesterday, or in the previous game, I should say, as they caught Vasquez instead. So Jeffers is well rested. And he will catch. His T rating is a 4. Pass ball rating is a 0. And he is a 4 plus 1E8. Running at an 11. All right, so now batting fifth, we're going to have Max Kepler, the right fielder. So Kepler will come on and play right field and bat fifth. He's a 2 minus 2E0 with a 12. And now we're going to be looking for a designated hitter, and that's going to be Trevor Larnach, another left-handed batter. And he is an 11. Then we're going to have Royce Lewis at third base. And Lewis is a 3E21, running at a 12. So now we need second base and left field. Those are the two last remaining positions to fill. So let's see who they're going to go with here. In left field, they will go with... They will go with Willie Castro in left field. Plays about everywhere. He is a 3 minus 2E7. And a 15. And playing second base will be Kyle Farmer. And Farmer is a 3E8, running at a 12. All right, so the Twins lineup is complete. And on the bench for the Twins, you have Austin Martin, Alex Kirilloff, the two rested players, Manuel Margot and Jose Miranda, and backup catcher Christian Vasquez. Those are the 5 bench players the Twins have available. In their bullpen, if you look at the Twins bullpen, they have 2 left-handers. Each team always has 2 left-handers to go with their right-handers. So the 2 left-handers are Caleb Thielbar and Stephen Okert. Right-handers are Cole Sands, Jorge Alcala, and Griffin Jacks. So that's who they have available. And also they have, there's one other guy missing. My bad. Hold on. Let me bring him out here if I can find his card. And that is where did you go? That is, where'd he go? I lost him. Can't find him. Jay Jackson. All right, so that's who is available for the Twins. I'm not going to score the game as I play it. I'll score it tomorrow morning or either later tonight before I go to bed, one or the other, because it's just too much to do all this and then try to score the game as I play it. It just makes it really confusing. And it just takes too long, to be quite honest with you. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Marlins lineup. And again, Jazz Chisholm is not there. He has to rest. So Luis Arias is normally their leadoff man, and we'll go and stick with him. And he will play second base. So Luis Arias. He gets to second base, and he's a 4E17. and he's an 11. And he will go to San Diego later in the season. Batting second against, again, we have a right-handed pitcher, so we're looking mainly for lefties if you can find them. And they're going to go to Jesus Sanchez in right field. Jesus Sanchez is the right fielder, and he's a 3-2 E6. And he's a 12. All right, next in line will be, we just don't have a whole lot of good players out there, do they? They will go with Josh Bell. And he'll be the designated hitter in this game, running at a 9. Jake Berger, who had a rest roll but did not have to rest, he will hit cleanup. And he will play first base, where he's a 4-E6 and an 11. All right. Next, we're going to have Brian De La Cruz. He will be in left field. And he got the thumbnail picture, so they're trying to, hopefully he gets karma today, or tonight, I guess, if you want to call it that. He's a 4-1E7. Alrighty, now we're going to have third baseman Jonah Bride. And he is a 4-E18, running at an 11. So that leaves center field, shortstop, and catcher. So center fielder, you know he's not very good at it, it's going to be Nick Gordon. Normally, like I said, it would be Jazz Chisholm, but he has to rest. So Nick Gordon's going to be in center. He's a 4+2 E8 with a 13. Tim Anderson will be your shortstop. Longtime Chicago White Sox shortstop. 3E24, and he's a 12. And then doing the catching, since Bethencourt has to rest, it'll be their backup catcher, Ali Sanchez. He is a T7. He's throwing error chances. PB is a 0. No pass ball chances. Runs at a 9. He's a 4+1 E2. And now we're just about ready to go. Got our lineups done. So now we can get everything back in place where it needs to be, hopefully. Make sure I've got everything where it needs to be. Starting pitchers, again, for the Marlins, it is Max Meyer, a righty, and Pablo Lopez for the Twins. Now let's look at, before we get going in there, I gave you the Twins bench and bullpen. Let's do the same for the Marlins. It'll be Otto Lopez, a right-hander, Avisel Garcia, switch hitter Vidal Brujan, and then the two players that had to rest, Bettencourt and Chisholm. Those are the 5 bench players that Miami has available. Looking at their bullpen, they got 2 lefties. They got Andrew Nardi, and they have Tanner Scott. Those are the 2 lefties they have. Right-handers, they have Birch Smith, Brian Honing, George Soriano, Anthony Bender, and Declan Cronin, however it's pronounced. So those are all the players that will be available in the game for the Marlins. If you didn't see them, they're not available. Simple as that. All right. So after all these prelims, we're finally ready to go. All right. So let's get these all squared away. Still got for some reason, still giving a tilt here. So let me fix this so you're not getting a crooked neck, hopefully. Let's see if I can get this straight here. I don't know why it's acting like it's tilted. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe that's better right there. Hopefully that's better anyway. All right, so Max Meyer. Now I do have the Strat computer up so I can give you the stats in their replay. Not that they've had a lot, because obviously it's not a whole lot going on here. It's only this is game 10 for each team, so there's not a whole lot of stats to accumulate. But we'll see what we have going for starting pitcher Max Meyer. Meyer, this will be his second start. He's 0-1 with a 3.60 earned run average. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Marlins are 2-7. Twins are tied for first place with the Dodgers at 7-2. Meyer's injury chance is 6-11. So Meyer will step in, and he'll be facing Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. Hey there, Mr. Steve. Good to see you. I don't know why, like I said, I don't know what's going on with my chat thing, but it's for some reason YouTube is putting like some original account name in there. I don't know how to fix it. I'm not proficient at that. So if somebody knows and can tell me, I'd be more than happy to adjust something. Obviously, I did something in my setup, and I don't know what I did. So anyway, we'll go with it anyway as is. So Byron Buxton will lead off. He's hitting 371 on the replay, 13 out of 35 with a homer and 2 driven in. So it's the 7-2 Twins against the 2-7 Marlins. Game 47 of the Demolition League. Ballpark effects for whatever Miami Stadium is called these days. 1-17 for singles, 1-14 for singles, lefty and righty. Home runs 1-12 left, 1-6 single. I think it's Lone Depot Park or something like that. I'm not sure. All right, here's Max Meyer. 1-6 to Buxton, struck him out. So Meyer off to a good start. 1 away. That'll bring up Carlos Santana. Santana hitting 344 on the replay, 11 out of 32, a homer and 5 driven in. 4-7, switch hitter batting left, and that's a strikeout for Max Meyer. He's coming out strong here, looking more like Michael Meyer, giving everybody a Halloween creep here for the Twins. But there's 2 quick outs, and that'll bring up Carlos Correa. Correa on the replay hitting 294, 10 out of 34, 2 homers, 7 driven in. 4-8, and that's trouble there. 1-6 is a triple, 7-20 is a double, and of course a double die is going to go low and give us a triple for Carlos Correa. And on the replay, that is Correa's first triple of the season. He had 2 real world. So a 2-out triple from Carlos Correa, and that'll bring up Ryan Jeffers in a clutch situation. And he will lose a hit on 1-2 and 112. He loses 2 hits there in the clutch. First havoc roll. Meyer to Jeffers, and Jeffers on the replay is hitting a measly 161, 5 of 31, but 4 of his 5 hits have been home runs. So he's got 4 homers and 7 runs batted in out of his 5 hits. So he's made the most of them. 5-10. Catcher X. This could be a problem if there's a pass ball or something like that. Sanchez is a 4-E2. 4-13. We'll see what happens on the 4-13. 4-13 is a P/F potential for a pass ball. Let's see, that's a 9, and Sanchez E2. There's no 9 there, so we got P/F. So we go to P/F, and we're looking at the wild pitch rating of the pitcher. That determines whether a pass ball has occurred. His wild pitch is a 0, so there's not going to be a pass ball. And since there's no pass ball, it is a pop out to end the inning. So Max Meyer pitches out of it, and we go to the bottom of the first. Minnesota nothing, and the Marlins coming to bat. And right-hander for the Twins, Pablo Lopez is going to be the starting pitcher. This will be his 3rd start of the replay. In real world, is 15-10 with a 4.08 ERA and 32 starts, which means he should get 10 or 11 starts in this replay, as everything's cut down by a 1/3. So the Lopez on the replay, making his 3rd start. He's 1-0 with a 1.29 ERA, 14 innings pitched, 8 hits, 2 runs. Amazingly, no walks and 18 strikeouts. He's got no walks and 18 strikeouts in the replay. In real season, he had 41 walks with 198 strikeouts. So you can see why he's got that high strikeout to walk ratio. So leading off for the last place Marlins will be Luis Arias. And Arias on the replay hitting 263. He's 10 out of 38. No homers or runs driven in. So 411, he's a lefty. And that's a ballpark single check. It's 1-17, and that's an 18, so he can't even get a break there. Boy, I tell you, that's what's going on for the Marlins right there. Lines out to second base, one away. That sums up the Marlins season at one at bat. That definitely sums it up. Here's Jesus Sanchez on the replay for Sanchez. There's two Sanchez's in the lineup. There's Jesus Sanchez and Alex Sanchez, but one's a catcher, so I don't think we can get them mixed up here. Jesus Sanchez, where are you? I'm looking for you on the stats here, and I can't find you. Oh, there you are. He's hitting 185, 5 out of 27, no homers and no runs batted in. It's a 6-6 left-handed, and that's a fly ball to left field, and Castro will make the catch, 2 down, and that'll bring up the designated hitter Josh Bell. He's hitting 265, 9 out of 34, no homers, 2 driven in. 6-12, Lopez has a 0 injury chance, so we don't have to worry about that. He's a switch hitter batting left. 6-12 is a split chance. The Devil ties a 1, so it's going to be a base hit. Base hit for Josh Bell, but he doesn't run well, so he's not going to be worried about being held at all. And here comes Jake Berger. You can make your State Farm jokes or your Jake and the Fat Man jokes or whatever you want to make, but he's Jake Berger. And or Jake Whataburger, maybe. I don't know. He's hitting 118 on the replay, so he's not really doing too well. 4 out of 34, no homers, 2 driven in. Hello, Dr. D. Good to see you. 3-6 for Berger, and he's going to strike out. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for either team in the first. They get a runner on, but can't make anything else happen. We go to the second, no score. And due up for the Twins will be Max Kepler, the right fielder. He'll be followed by Larnach and Lewis. Kepler on the replay is hitting, if I can find his card, there he's hitting 273, 6 out of 22, no homers, 2 driven in. It's a 5-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at De La Cruz. He's a 4-E7. 4-E7. 4-20, he'll get to it. He got a break on the D20 that time. E7 and an 11. We'll see if that's a problem. Nope, 7-11. He's able to make the quick pickup there. Very convenient. Makes the catch, 1 away. And here is Trevor Larnach, the designated hitter. Larnach in limited duty is 3 for 15 at 200 average. No homers, 2 driven in. It's 110 for Larnach, and that's a 1-out walk. First walk issued by Max Meyer. And Larnach really not a threat to run. Meyer is a -1 hold. Sanchez a +1, so he is a net 0 on the pitcher-catcher hold. Royce Lewis is up. Lewis in limited duty, been injured a lot. So he's had 8 at-bats. He's 2 for 8, hitting 250, no homers and a run driven in for Royce Lewis. 2-5 for Lewis, and that is another walk. So back-to-back walks issued by Meyer. And that will put runners at first and second with 1 out for Willie Castro, the Swiss Army knife of the Twins. He plays about everywhere. Castro on the replay is hitting just 200. He's 6 out of 30, no homers and a run driven in. But the fact he can play everywhere, it means he gets in the lineup quite a bit. 4-5, switcher batting left, and that's a ground ball second base A. That's a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Pitcher's best friend. And now we go to the bottom of the second. And Brian De La Cruz will be up to lead off for the Marlins. De La Cruz is hitting 242 on the replay, 8 homers, 33 driven in, but he does have 3 homers and 6 runs driven in. Both those totals lead the Marlins right now. It's a 1-9, and he's going to hit a 1-6 single. That's a 5. Double die comes through again. Base hit first, or a leadoff single for De La Cruz, but I don't think he's going to. No, he's not much of a runner, so he'll stay. And here's Jonah Bride. Jonah Bride hitting only 133s, 2 out of 15. No homers or runs driven in. .311, and that's a hit by pitch, so he gets plunked. We had 3 hit by the pitches this morning. I hope that's not an epidemic that's happening here. So first and second, nobody out for Nick Gordon. Nick Flash Gordon, I guess, would be the de facto nickname for him. Nick Gordon on the replay is doing quite well for himself. 6 out of 18 for a .333 average. No homers and a run driven in. So 3-6, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Pablo Lopez. That'll bring up the veteran Tim Anderson, the shortstop. Anderson is hitting a meager .227 on the replay, 5 for 22, no homers, 2 driven in. A double play would get Lopez out of this inning. 1-8, but he gets a strikeout instead. 1-7 would have been a double play, but I think he'll take the strikeout as well. His third. And now it's up to Ali Sanchez, backup catcher, because Bethancourt has to rest, so that's why he's playing. Sanchez on the replay, though, is moderately doing well. He's hitting .286, 2 for 7. No homers or runs batted in. But he's not embarrassing himself, whatever. That's a .311, and that's a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning. So the first 2 get on, but they can't get them across, and at the end of 2, we got no score from Miami. Like I said, I think it's called TD Gardens, or I don't remember what they call their, or Home Depot Stadium or something. I don't even know. It's not high on my priority. Obviously, I didn't think enough about it to look it up. So, it's called Lone Depot Park. Okay, Lone Depot Park. So Lone Depot Park is what it's called. Lone Depot Park. I'll have to remember that. All these sponsorships keep changing every year, so you never know what's going to happen. All right, so leading off for the Twins will be Kyle Farmer. Farmer, the number 9 hitter, is really struggling. He's hitting .143, 3 out of 21. No homers or runs batted in. 4-8, and that's good for Farmer. 1-6 is a triple. That's a 12. It'll be a double, leadoff double for Kyle Farmer. Kyle Farmer, a leadoff double. And now back to the top of the order for Buxton. Meyer, 5-12. That's a ballpark blast for Buxton. It's 1-6. That's a 12. So just a fly ball to left field. And there's one away. Meyer got away with one there. Here's Carlos Santana. Struck out his first time up. He's going to try to change his evil ways on this one. 4-9, and he does not. He gets a ground ball to first base A. Would have been a double play, but a runner's already on second. But he does get the runner to third, but now there are 2 outs. So Carlos Correa in a clutch situation with 2 outs and a runner sitting at third base in the form of Kyle Farmer. Meyer to Correa. 2-8 for Correa, and it's a ground ball to short, and that will end the inning. So Max Meyer holding his own, keeping the Twins at bay. It's no score as we go to the bottom of the third. And leading off for the Marlins will be the top of the order, Luis Arias. He lined to second base his first trip. 4-8, and that's a single, leadoff single for Arias. And he's not really a threat to run. Lopez is a -1 hold. Jeffers is a +1. So, again, he is a net 0. Both pitchers' catcher interface to hold the running game are both at 0. So there's no plus or minus either way. Here's Jesus Sanchez. It's a 6-10, and that's a strikeout for Lopez. That'll be his 4th. And that'll send up Josh Bell, designated hitter. 5-9, and that's trouble for Lopez. 1-11 is a home run. That's a 17. It'll be a double for Josh Bell. It's assumed to go to center. Arias not being held is a 12. The double to center is Buxton. He's a -2, would make it a 10. So with only 1 out, they will hold the runner at third base. So Arias stops at third. Second and third, 1 out for Jake Berger. And the Twins will play the infield in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. .25 for Berger. It doesn't matter where they play. 2-5 is a 1-17 double, and that's a 2. So it'll be a double for Jake Berger. 2-run double for Berger. So a double stack for Jake Berger. 2 RBI double. And the Marlins surprisingly lead at 2-0. That's a 1. Lopez's wild pitch rating is a 3. That's a wild pitch, so Lopez is going to bring him over with a wild pitch. Runner at third, infield's going to have to come in with 1 out. 5-7, it's a strikeout, so Lopez gets a big strikeout there for number 5. And now it's up to Jonah Bride. Jonah, father of the bride. 2 is a possible balk or pass ball. Look at the balk rating Lopez, which is a 0. Pitch to Bride. 1-5, and that's a walk. That'll keep the inning going, and that is the first walk issued by Lopez. He's hit a batter, but that's the first walk. Bride will not be held. And a clutch situation now for Nick Gordon. And in the clutch, he gets a hit on 3-11. That's the only difference. That's a 2-8, and that's a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. But the 2-run double from Jake Berger gives the Marlins a 2-0 lead after 3 here at Lone Depot Park. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, again, back to the final game of the 1987 American League replay for the date of May the 28th, and it will be the same Minnesota Twins, not these same guys, but the team, at home in the Metrodome against the Milwaukee Brewers. Mike Birkbeck against Juan Berenguer. All right. So here we go. Ryan Jeffers to lead off. It's a 3-2 for Jeffers, and that's a low max, but nobody's on base, so it's just a liner to third. 1 away. Brings up Max Kepler. 3-4, and that's going to be a ground ball to second, 2 away. Yeah, that game this morning is definitely a candidate for a game of the year for sure. Going 15 innings. That was over 2 hours for that stream. Here's Larnack, 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Max Meyer. That will be his 3rd. He struck out the first 2 batters of the game, and that's his first strikeout since. But 1, 2, 3 go the Twins, as Max Meyer is silencing the first place Twins right now. 2-0 ball game. Of course, tomorrow night is the first game of the actual World Series, Toronto and LA. So on Saturday afternoon at 12 o'clock, I will replay Game 1 using History Maker Baseball with the cards I created. So we'll be doing that. I'll use exact lineups, exact umpires, exact everything, and see how close, how History Maker does it, for lack of a better term. 2-7 for Anderson. That's a strikeout. Number 6 now for Lopez. And that'll bring up Ali Sanchez. 5-4, and it's a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Buxton. He's a 2-E1. 2-E1. 2 and a 6, I believe he'll get to that. The E1, the only chance he has to make an error is a 17. That's not a 17. So the 2 and the 6 is an F2. That's good enough. He will make the catch. 2 quick outs for Luis Arias. 2-4 for Arias, a ballpark single check. It's 1-17, and so he will get another base hit. He's 2 for 3. And that brings up Jesus Sanchez, who is 0 for 2. .512, and that's a ground ball first base X. We're looking at Santana. He's a 1E5. So we know he's going to get to it with the 1. Since there's 2 outs, we're not worried about double play. We're just going to see if he can get to it. We know he gets to it, rather. We'll see if he makes an error. E5 for first baseman. The only errors are 14, 17, and 18. And that's a 13. So he just dodges around it. He'll get it. Flip to Pablo Lopez covering. And that will end the inning. So at the end of 4 complete, it is still 2-0 Marlins. And again, I have to thank 2 people in particular, Steve, since he's in here, and Jeff Goodman, because they got me they rekindled my Strat-O-Matic passion, and Jeff inspired me to do the 87 replay, and Steve with these score sheets makes it a whole lot better than the pad B that comes from Strat-O-Matic. So both of those have a part in this. Here's Royce Lewis. 1-6 for Lewis, and that's a ground ball to second. 1 away. Hello, Blaine. Good to see you. Willie Castro, the batter, left fielder. There's not been able to figure out Max Meyer. This is the fatigue inning for Max Meyer, by the way, at number 5. That's a 5-4, switch hitter batting left, and that's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-17, but that's an 18. Boy, another bad break there. Fly ball to right, 2 down for Kyle Farmer. And Max Meyer might have full endurance going into the 6th inning, potentially. 5-8. Ground ball second base X. We're checking Arias. He's a 4E17. 4-5. That could be trouble. 4-5 is going to be a base hit. That's an 8. E17. There's no 8, but there will be a base hit as Arias unable to get to that. Kyle Farmer in the number 9 position is 2 for 2. So that'll bring up Byron Buxton, top of the order. I don't believe Farmer. He's got an asterisk there, so they will hold him, but he's got a whole bunch of numbers up there. He can get picked off on a 7, 8, or 10. So he stole 3 bases, but got caught 5 times. So I think he's going to hold right where he is. And Byron Buxton, the batter. Hello, Mr. Robert, RJL. Let's see, 5-2. And that's a ground ball second base X. They were holding Farmer on. So that means Arias will drop to a 5E17 because with the right-hander up, he's responsible for holding the runner. So he is now a 5E17 as Arias. 5 and a 15. Might get away with it, might not. He does. 5 and a 15 is a G3, so he'll get to it. That's a 12, and he's an E17 at second base. There is no 12, so Arias does make the play to throw out Buxton to end the inning. So since he only gave up 1 single, Max Meyer will come back out for the 6th. Marlins still lead at 2-0 going to the bottom of the 5th. And Pablo Lopez back out will face Josh Bell, Jake Berger, and De La Cruz. 6-8, switch hitter batting left, and that's a fly to center field. Buxton runs it down. Bell had been 2 for 2 up to that point. And here's Berger. He had the big 2-run double in the 3rd inning. 3-10, and that's a ground ball to short. And Correa will take care of that easily. And that's 2 away for Brian De La Cruz. 1-7, and that's a 1-3 double. 16, so it's 2-out single for De La Cruz. He's no threat to run, so they won't even hold him on. And now Jonah Bride steps to the plate. .612. Split chance. 1-13 is a single. That's a 1. It'll be a base hit. So Jonah Bride has reached all 3 times. Hit by a pitch, walk, and now a single. And now that brings up a clutch situation for Nick Gordon, left fielder, or sorry, center fielder. And Gordon in the clutch will gain a hit on 3-11. That's his only difference. 2-5, and he struck him out. That's the 7th strikeout for Pablo Lopez. So we go to the 6th inning, still 2-0 Marlins. Marlins trying to get that 3rd win and try to help get themselves out of the basement. Max Meyer, 5th inning was his fatigue inning. He only gave up 1 single, so he's still okay. Although the Marlin bullpen is loosening in back of him just in case. They do have activity in their bullpen. And they have right-hander Anthony Bender loosening in their bullpen, just in case. Right now, Max Meyer is going to see what he can do here with Carlos Santana. 1-9, and he struck him out. That's what he did with him. And that's the 4th strikeout for Max Meyer. Here's Carlos Correa. He's had a triple in the 1st and grounded out in the 3rd. 4-7, and as I fly to center, 2 down. So Max Meyer, boy, he might be bucking the pitch into the 7th here. What's going on? This is 2025. He's not supposed to, or 24. He's not supposed to be doing this. Here's Jeffers, 5-12, and that's a ballpark blast. Jeffers has the normal power, 1-6. That's a 3. It's gone. And Ryan Jeffers, that I said, he had 5 hits coming into the season in the replay. 4 of them were home runs. Now he's got 6 hits, and that's his 5th home run. So it's all or nothing for Ryan Jeffers, his 5th home run of the replay in just game number 10. It cuts the lead in half to 2-1. So maybe Max Meyer might be finishing up here to get through the 6th inning. Yeah, I think I jinxed him. So, oh well, what are you going to do? Here's Kepler, 3-9. Struck him out plus injury, so there's a chance that Kepler will be gone and have to leave this game for either this game and possibly more. Checking his injury chances, but the 3-9 is his strikeout plus injury. So we go to our injury chart for the batters. 1-4, he stays in the game. 5 or 6, he just misses this game. 7 or higher, he misses maybe extended time. That is a 7, which is just a 1 game. So we do everything by a third, so it's really just this game. So Kepler will leave this game, but he will not miss any future games. He will just miss this one. So the Twins will need a replacement just for the rest of this game. So let's see who they're going to get to play right field. And it looks like it's going to be Alex Kirilloff will come on and play right field. So Kirilloff will be the new right fielder in the 6th inning. Alex Kirilloff, not a very good hitter, 201 average, 159 at bats, 5 home runs. And in right field, he's a 4+1 E3. A lot worse than what Kepler was, for sure. But that's what happens when you get an injury. And so Meyer, they'll cap him at the 6 innings. I don't think they want to push their luck here. 6 innings, 1 run, struck out 5. Let's see, how many did he walk? He walked 2. And hits allowed 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So a very good outing for Max Meyer. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, a run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And if the bullpen can hold it, he will gain the victory. So Pablo Lopez comes out. This is his fatigue inning. Fatigue inning is 6 for Lopez. He'll be facing Anderson, Sanchez, and Arias. Due up here. .110, and that's going to be a fly to left. That's 1 away. Anderson is retired. Here's Sanchez. 1-7, he struck him out. That's 8 strikeouts for Lopez. And now we're back to Arias. He's 2 for 3. 3-8, and he's going to fly it to left. So Lopez, a 1-2-3 inning in his fatigue inning, so he has full endurance heading to the 7th inning. So now we will go to the top of the 7th, and the new pitcher coming in will be Bender, Anthony Bender for the Marlins. He was in the 24 season, 5-2, 4.08 ERA, and 1 save. So Anthony Bender is on. He's got a +4 hold, which is not necessarily all that great. Makes him a +5 when you add in the +1 from Sanchez. But we are in the 7th inning, so that means all the guys that had to rest are now available to come in if the teams so desire. So leading things off for the Twins will be Trevor Larnach. Larnach walking a strikeout. 1-9, and that's going to be a double 1-10, and that's a 9, so it's a leadoff double for Trevor Larnach. And that'll bring up Royce Lewis. 1-9 for Lewis. Oh, look at this. In honor of Jeff Guterman, that was clean as a baby's ass right there. 1-9, a solid home run right there. No question about it. Hello, Captain Carl. 1-9 is a clean as a baby's ass home run, as Mr. Guterman would say. And that is out of here. And all of a sudden, the Twins take the lead 3-2. And so Anthony Bender, he's not bending too much here. Or maybe he's bending too much. Maybe that's the problem. Here's Willie Castro. 1-7, and that is a 1-2 double. 7, so it's a fly to right, 1 away. Brings up Kyle Farmer. He is 2 for 2. Hey, Fast Action, good to see you. 6-4 for Bender is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Anderson. He's a 3E24. Or as I said in the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. 3E24, 3-16 is going to be okay. Not a problem. 3-16 is a G1. That is a 12, and he is an E24. E24, there's no 12. So Anderson will make the play. 2 down. Maybe his nickname should be Neo. I don't know. Here's Byron Buxton. 0 for 3 for Buxton. 3-8, not 0 for 3 anymore. He gets the base hit. 2-out single for Buxton. He might be looking to run. He needs a 7 to get the lead. Needs that 7. Doesn't get it, so he will hold. And here comes Carlos Santana. It's a 1-6, and he flies to center, and that's going to end the inning. That's going to do it for Bender. He's going to make it 1 inning, and that's it. And he gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. And he cost Meyer a potential win. So we go to the 7th inning stretch now with the score. Twins 3, Marlins 2. Marlins will have a new pitcher in the 8th inning. Pablo Lopez back out. He has full endurance because he gave up nothing in the 6th inning, but now he's rejuvenated because he's got the lead. But he's going to face the heart of the order, Sanchez, Bell, and Berger. 4-5, left-hander struck him out. That is strikeout number 9 for Lopez. He's walked 1 and struck out 9 in this game. Here's Josh Bell. 2-3 for Bell, and that's a ballpark single. 1-17, so Josh Bell is 3 for 4 in this game as he gets a solid single. And that'll bring up the Burgermeister, Jake Burger. His 2-run double gave the Marlins the lead. 2, chance for balk or pass ball, but we don't need to roll for it because Lopez has a 0 balk and Jeffers has a 0 pass ball, so we can't have either one. 4-7, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet, so that's the 10th strikeout for Pablo Lopez. 10 strikeouts. And here's Brian De La Cruz. 1-6, and that's a home run, 1-13. That is a 13. Do you believe that? If I was playing rob home runs, we'd be trying to rob the home run right now, but I'm not doing that much of it. 1-13 is a home run on the 1-6, and that is a 13. A 2-run shot from Brian De La Cruz, and the Marlins have retaken the lead 4-3. Just when you thought the Marlins were done, Brian De La Cruz picks them up with a 2-run homer, and they lead it 4-3. Pablo Lopez pretty much going to be done now after he gets out of this inning. Ride 3-8 is a ground ball to second to end the inning. That's going to be it for Pablo Lopez. So Lopez is going to go 7 innings, but he's going to give up 4 runs, all of which were earned. And he's on the hook for the loss despite his 10 strikeouts. And like I said, he only walked one. Hits allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits to go with the 10 strikeouts. So the Marlins reclaim the lead. They don't fold in like a cheap tent. They keep it going. And we go to the top of the eighth. The Marlins will need a new pitcher. Twins will need a new pitcher in the bottom half as well. So coming in for the Marlins, they're going to be facing Correa, Jeffers, and Kirilloff, two righties and a lefty. So they're going to go most likely to a righty out of the bullpen. Tanner Scott, their closer, is a lefty. Let's see if they want to go. Which right-hander they're going to go to. They're going to go to Brian Hoeing. Hoeing, 2-3 with a 2.18 ERA. Did start 2 games and has no saves. So Brian Hoeing is on. He is a +2 hold, which makes him a +3. And Correa is going to lead things off. But the Marlins, since we're in the 7th inning now, the Marlins will make a defensive move. Jazz Chisholm will be entered into the game in center field for Gordon. Gordon was a 4 +2 E8, Chisholm 3.0 E4. So Chisholm had to rest, but now he's no longer having to rest. So Jazz Chisholm will go into center field here in the 8th inning. He will lead off the next inning for the Marlins. That's the one change the Marlins are making. And now here's Correa against Hoeing. It's a 4-9 right-hander, but that's bad news. 1-8 is a double, 9-20 is a single. So it's a leadoff single for Correa. As we start the 8th, Correa is aboard, no threat to run. Here's Ryan Jeffers, catcher. .110 for Jeffers, and he's going to strike him out. Hoeing with the strikeout. First, I thought it was a hit by pitch, but that was 111. So Alex Kirilloff, his first at bat since coming in for the injured Kepler. And Kirilloff, not a very good hitter. He hit .201 in the season with 159 at bats. Let's see if he can do anything here with a runner on first and 1 out. 6-7, lefty, ground ball, second base X, potential double play chance, but Arias is only a 4, so he's got to get to the ball first. And that's a devil die shows up again. It's incredible. I need to start documenting because this one shows up at least, I'd say at least 12 to 13% of the time. It's not 5%. No way in hell is it 5%. It shows up way too much for that. All right, so the 4 and a 1 is a single 2 stars. That's a given. Now we're going to check for an error. And that's a 14, so Arias could be in trouble with that also. 17, no, it's a 15 here, but not a 14, so he does dodge the error. But now runners are at the corners with only 1 out for Trevor Larnach. And the Marlins, I believe, are going to their bullpen for a left-hander. And they're going to go to their closer, Tanner Scott. I don't think they're going to wait around much longer. Tanner Scott's going to come on. Hoeing did pitch his 3 batters. He did face his mandatory 3 batters, but that's going to be all he's going to do. Goes a third of an inning, gives up 2 hits, and is responsible for both runs. If they come around to score, he could take the loss. So Tanner Scott on the season, he would get traded to San Diego. 9-6, a 1.75 ERA, and 22 saves for Tanner Scott. And I think there's some question. He's on the Dodgers in 2025. I think there's some question whether he's going to be on the World Series roster or not. There was some talk about that, so I don't know if he is or isn't. Scott's a 0 hold, so that's a +1. All right, so Larnach is up. He is the DH, so you could bring in a right-handed pinch hitter if you chose for the Twins. They could counter this, but Larnach's a pretty good hitter. But he only faced lefties 6% of the time. So we're going to go ahead and make a move for the Twins and bring in a right-handed hitter to see what he can do. And it's going to be Austin Martin. And Martin will take over as the designated hitter the rest of the way. So Austin Martin will pinch hit in a big spot here in the top of the 8th. A right-handed hitter. And Martin on the season, 253 average, 233 at-bats. He hit 1 home run with 16 runs driven in. So the Marlins have to decide if they want to play back for the double play or they're going to play in. They're going to play, oh boy, it's a tough call. They're going to play back for the double play. 2, but that's a balk or a pass ball, but that can't happen for either one of them, so we skip that. That's a 3-5, and that's a single 1-2. It's a line out 3-20. That's going to be a line out to short. That's out number 2. And now it's up to Royce Lewis in the clutch situation. Against lefties, he loses a hit on 1-8 and on 3-4. So he's anti-clutch in 2 spots. Tanner Scott trying to get out of this. Sometimes the save occurs in the 8th inning, not the 9th inning. It's a 1-11, but this might not be a save at all. That's a ballpark blast. It's 1-6, and that is a 6. Go figure. Do you believe that? Home run, ballpark blast, 1-6. The double die is a 6. Unbelievable. Royce Lewis hits a 3-run home run for Royce Lewis, his second of the game. He had a 2-run homer his last time up. He's obviously the player of the game, Royce Lewis. And the loss potentially now will go to Hoeing, as he couldn't get out. So Hoeing's going to be charged with 2 of those runs. Tanner Scott, the 3rd run. But Royce Lewis homers, and now the Twins have reclaimed the lead by the score of 6-4. And the 17 people at Lone Depot Park are frustrated. Here's Willie Castro, 4-5, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. But a 3-spot, a 3-run homer from Royce Lewis has done the damage. All right, so Twins get a new pitcher in back of Pablo Lopez, and we'll see who that's going to be. For the Marlins, it'll be Chisholm, Anderson, and probably a pinch hitter for Sanchez. So we are looking at left, right, and we don't know what's going to be after that. So they're going to go to, boy, who do they go to here? They're going to go to left-hander Steven Okert. Okert was 3-2, 5.09 ERA, had 1 start and 1 save. That start obviously was as an opener because he's not even rated as a starting pitcher. So these are the old opener thing. I may do one of these openers in one of these games. I don't know. I don't really like the opener. But there's a lot of things in modern baseball I don't like that I still try to mimic since I'm playing the modern season. +5 for the hold rating, so that's not good. So Jazz Chisholm gets his first at bat after coming in defensive purposes. He'll be facing Steven Okert, lefty on lefty. 4-9, and that's a strikeout. He strikes out Jazz Chisholm. 1 away for Tim Anderson, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 2-7, and that's a 1-10 single. That's an 8. So Tim Anderson with the base hit, and now we'll get a pinch hitter for Sanchez as he will leave the game. And the Marlins will go to their bench for a right-handed hitter, and it might be Otto Lopez or it might be Avisail Garcia. They're going to go to Avisail Garcia. So Garcia will pinch hit, and then Betancourt will come in and catch in the 9th inning. So Garcia pinch hits in the 8th. Avisail Garcia, longtime Detroit Tigers, Chicago White Sox player at the end of his career. Real world, he had 50 at-bats, hit 240 with 2 home runs. But you can see his card against lefties. He's got a great column 3. All right, so here is Avisail Garcia. 4-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. Anderson was not being held, so second baseman Farmer will keep his 3-8. 3 and a 3. Again, 3 and a 3. 3 and a 3 is going to be a single. That's a 9, and at second base he is an E8. There's no 9, but it's going to be a single 1-star. Pinch hit single for Garcia, and that's going to put runners at first and second with 1 out for Luis Arias. Lefty on lefty for Okert now against Arias. 6-4 ball game. Tying runs are on base. Arias is 2 for 4. First at bat for Arias against the lefty. 6-10. I got to check Okert and see if he's injured. See what his injury chance is for Okert for Minnesota. Let's see here. Okert is a 1, so he's a 6-12, so 6-10 is okay. 6-10 is a ballpark single, though. That's not okay. 1-17, that's a 16. It's a base hit. It's going to load the bases. So back come the Marlins. We have the bases loaded now with Jesus Sanchez. And now bullpen activity for the Twins as a right-hander has begun loosening. And that right-hander is Griffin Jax. He is their closer right now. 5-5, 2.03 ERA, and 10 saves. But with the lefty Sanchez up, they're going to give Okert one more go at it. Lefty on lefty. Bases loaded. They're going to play back for the double play because they have a 2-run lead. They'd almost trade the run for the out right now. 5-5, and that's a fly ball left field B. It's going to be a sacrifice fly, and that will score Anderson to cut the lead to 6-5, but that's going to do it for Okert. He will leave, and Griffin Jax will be coming on to try to close the deal. Try to get a 4-out save. Griffin Jax. So Okert is going to go 2/3 of an inning, give up 3 hits and so far 1 run, no walks and 1 strikeout. Griffin Jax, 5-5, 2.03 with 10 saves. He's a -4 hold, so that turns that around, makes it a -3. And he's going to be facing the big guy, Josh Bell. Josh Bell with runners at first and second, 2 outs, clutch situation for Bell. And in the clutch on Bell, he is going to gain a hit on 2-6. Everywhere else, he's neutral. So Griffin Jax trying to end the threat right here. 6-11. Let's see if that's an injury for Griffin Jax. 6-11 for Minnesota. No, he's a 0. He cannot be injured. So 6-11. Switch hitter batting left is a fly ball right field X. We're looking at, well, it's not Kepler anymore because he got injured. It's going to be Kirilloff, so we'll check Kirilloff, and Kirilloff in right field is a 4-E3, so that could be critical. 4-13, though, he should get to that, you would think. 4-13, he does. That's a 7, and he's an E3, so I don't think that's a problem. It's not. It's an F1, which means the runners would have advanced, but that was the 3rd out. So Kirilloff comes up big, makes the play, saves the Twins from further problems, and they lead it 6-5 as we go to the 9th inning. And Jax will come back out for the 9th to try to save it. Tanner Scott is going to, I think he's going to finish up here. Tanner Scott, he went 2/3 of an inning, gave up the home run, the strikeout, and now with Farmer coming up and Buxton, a couple of righties, they'll go to the bullpen for a right-hander, and they will turn to Birch Smith. Right-hander Birch Smith. He's a +2 hold, which makes him a +3. And on the season, he was 2-0 with a 4.25 ERA and no saves. So Birch Smith will face Farmer, Buxton, and Santana. And, of course, the new catcher now is Betancourt as he comes in defensively after Garcia hit for Sanchez. So Betancourt is your new catcher. Farmer, Smith to Farmer, 4-4. And that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're checking Anderson, a 3-E24 for Tim Anderson. 3. Oh, the double die shows up again. It's amazing. It's a base hit. We already know it. And don't have errors on 10s hardly ever. So that's a base hit for Farmer. He is 3 for 4 from the number 9 position. He will have to be held. And here's Buxton. Normally you'd like to bunt here and get an insurance run, but almost everybody in this league is a D bunter. So we're not going to be able to do that. Birch Smith to Buxton, 5-8, and that's a single to center field. That's going to put runners at first and second with nobody out. And Carlos Santana, the batter. Birch Smith has to face 3 batters. But they could bring in somebody else to face Correa if they chose. But he's got to face Santana. 1-3, and it's a ground ball shortstop B. It's a fielder's choice. Going to third is Farmer. Buxton is out, 6-4. Santana, the new runner there. So runners are at the corners with 1 out. And Carlos Correa, the batter. And they're going to stick with Birch Smith. Double play would get him out of the inning. So they're looking at, boy, do they trust the double play, though? That's the question. They're going to play in. They don't trust the double play. They're going to play in. They're down by a run. They can't afford to give us any more. So they're playing in, 3-11. And it's a good thing that, well, it didn't matter. It's a ballpark single check. That's a 20. So it's a line out to short. So it didn't matter if they were in or out on that one. That's just out number 2 for Ryan Jeffers. So the infield back to normal now for Jeffers. Smith to Jeffers. It's a 6-11. We'll check Birch Smith for an injury chance for Miami. 6-11. For Birch Smith, he's in the extra pitchers. So Birch Smith is a 1, so that makes him a 6-12. So 6-11 is okay. 6-11 is a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. So Birch Smith struggles through that inning, but gets through it. He goes 1 inning, gives up 2 hits. More importantly, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Marlins against Griffin Jacks. And it'll be Berger, De La Cruz, and Bride due up for the Marlins. The only ones left on the bench available to pinch hit are Otto Lopez and Vidal Brujan. So most likely we'll stick with what they have. Most likely. So Jake Berger will lead off against Griffin Jacks. So we got a Jake and a Jacks. 2-7, and that's a strikeout. All these hits in column 2, and he found the strikeout. Go figure. 1 away, and here's Brian De La Cruz. Now I realize these 6 and 3 columns are going off the screen a little bit, so if I get those, I'll move the cards over. There's De La Cruz. We get a 5-10, and that is a fly ball to right field. So Griffin Jacks 1 out away from closing it down and giving the Twins their 8th win of the season to go to 8-2 and drop the lowly Marlins to 2-8. Jonah Bride standing in the way. Do we pinch hit for Jonah Bride? No, he's a 276 hitter, so we'll let him hit. 3-6 for Jonah Bride, and he will strike out to end the ball game. The ball game is over. Griffin Jacks gets in there and hangs in there for the save. Let's see, Okert gave up the 1 run, so I need to make changes from a 0 to a 1. But Griffin Jacks gets the save. He goes an inning in the 3rd and gives up nothing, striking out 2. So final line score for the Minnesota Twins, 6 runs, and they do it on 12 hits. And I don't believe there were any errors in the game. I don't think there were that I can recall. Some bad range plays, but I don't remember there being any errors. I don't think there were any errors. For the Marlins, 5 runs, and they do it on 13 hits and no errors. Winning pitcher is Pablo Lopez. He now is 2-0 on the replay. Losing pitcher is going to be Hoeing. Tough luck loss for Hoeing. And Griffin Jacks gets the save. Let me get the stats to see how many saves that is for Griffin Jacks, since he has taken over as their closer. Griffin Jacks picks up his 3rd save. And again, Lopez improves to 2-0. And then for Miami, we'll check on Mr. Hoeing. He is, where did he go? Mr. Hoeing, where are you? He's now 0-2. That's his second loss. So he's 0-2 in middle relief. So there you go. Game 47 is in the books. Marlins, I thought they had it, but player of the game, no question about it. Not even close. Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis, a 2-run homer in the 7th and a 3-run homer in the 8th. 5 runs batted in. In the real season, he hit .233 with 16 home runs. He got 2 of them right here. So Royce Lewis, he's your man. Player of the game. Next game in the replay, in this replay, will probably be Saturday night, I'm thinking. It won't be tomorrow night, obviously, because of the I won't be here. So let me see on the schedule who is next in line to play. Next game on the schedule, and if you look at the schedule, I'll pull it back out for those that didn't see it when I had it on here earlier. This is the schedule that Strat-O-Matic made for me. So we're in schedule block 4, these 3-game series in schedule block 4. We just did Minnesota and Miami. We did San Diego and New York last night. So we're looking at either Oakland, Toronto, or LA, Pittsburgh. But since both those teams are in the World Series, I kind of want to switch off and I think I'm going to do the Cubs and the Kansas City next, just because I want to do Toronto and LA and History Maker. So we'll do the Cubs and Kansas City. That'll be the next game, probably Saturday night. If not Saturday night, then who knows when it will be? I don't know. But tomorrow morning will be the 1987 replay, where Milwaukee will be taking on Minnesota from Minnesota. Final game of the May 28th block. And then around noon tomorrow, maybe 1 tomorrow, I'm not sure which, we'll play the National League, because I started doing this with the previous date in the calendar. I pick one National League game from 1987 to play on the table, and we'll sim all the rest and let that season be simming. But I'll pick a game of the day in the National League from May the 28th. And as it turns out, there was only one game played May 28th in 1987 in the National League. It's Atlanta and St. Louis, so that'll be the game. Rick Mailer against Tim Conroy from Busch Stadium. That'll be the game tomorrow afternoon. So 2 games from 1987 tomorrow afternoon. One will be the American League in the morning at 9, and the other one will be roughly around 1, 12:30 to 1, something in that neighborhood, where it's the Atlanta and St. Louis. So thank you all for spending part of your Thursday night with me. I know there's a football game going on that I don't even care about, the NFL, so I don't know anything about that. Other than I know I've got a thing on my phone saying the Chargers and the Vikings were playing, but that's about all I know. But again, tomorrow night is the actual game 1 of the real World Series, so we'll be tuning into that when I get back. And it starts so late, so I'll probably just miss the first couple of innings and then catch the rest of it before I go to bed and try to get familiar with those players. And, of course, Saturday at 12, I'll be replaying Game 1 of the actual World Series on History Maker Baseball, and we'll see how it does. I'll use exact lineups, exact umpires, exact everything, and we'll see how that game system handles the 2025 World Series. I'm going to play each game in that the day after the original game is played. So when the Game 2 is played on Saturday, then on Sunday I'll play Game 2 of the World Series on History Maker Baseball. Kind of do it a day, the day after, kind of keep things fresh. So anyway, that's good to go from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road. Have a good day, everybody.